Are you self-sabotaging your success? Well, I want to give you 10 tips today on things that you might be doing that are sabotaging your success online. So stick around. Hi, Tanya Jennings here from You Economy Lab, and I help entrepreneurs live a life of freedom online and bring in that passive income. Today, we're going to talk about self-sabotaging, and there's things that you might be doing. You may not realize you're doing them. Things like the blame game, other things that you might be doing that we're going to go through today. I've got some 10 tips and some remedies on how you can overcome this self-sabotaging things that you might be doing or people in your team might be doing, and you'll be able to help them. I want to talk about self-sabotaging today and how to get out of your own way. The stuff I'm talking about here has come from John C. Maxwell. If you don't know who John is, he's been around for a long time in the leadership space. I've done a lot of his trainings, and I've got one of his books, which I'll just show you, is this John C. Maxwell Team. He's got heaps of books out, but it's all about leadership. A lot of the time, and you know yourself, like when you're in a job, you join an organization, but you'll hear the saying, and a lot of people join an organization, but they'll leave a manager. So they're loving their job, but they just can't stand their manager. And you've probably all been in jobs like that. Gosh, gee, I know I have, where I've had, managers that were just absolutely horrible. And I'm like, nah, I'm out of here. I'm not putting up with this. And it's this, I want to share like some stuff today all about leadership and self-sabotaging yourself, because a lot of people, as I said, you don't realize you're doing some of these things, and that might be why, you're not having success, or people are joining you and then maybe they decide, no, I don't want to be in this team. So the hardest person to lead is yourself. And, when you're in online business or you're in business for yourself, there's no one pushing you. You don't have a boss. You don't have someone there going, okay, this is what you need to do every day. It's you. And it is hard. You've got to push yourself to actually get stuff done. Leadership scale, there's a scale of leaders. There's like 1 up to 10. And if you're only a 5 on the leadership scale board, that's the ceiling you're going to be at. So you're only going to get to a 5 in success. But if you're a 10 as a leader, then you will get to a 10 in success, if that makes sense. So people are self-sabotaging themselves. And what you want to be doing is when you're working with your team, and I always say this, I'm all about creating leaders. I'm always, trying to inspire people, give you some training to actually personal development and help you grow yourself. It's not about having a whole heap of people just doing the work. It's about you growing as well and being able to take those skills, pass them on to your team and have more success in your business. So number 1, I don't know if you want to grab a pen and paper. Number 1 is a poor understanding of people. Now, people are odd. People are unique. Everyone's different things that we do. People see things from their own eyes, and people are insecure. So you want to get out of your comfort zone. That's the remedy for this, is understanding people and getting out of your comfort zone. Managers treat everyone the same. Leaders treat people differently. And you'll see that when you've got someone there that is managing you, they're treating everyone the same. They're like, okay, this has to be done, that has to be done. Whereas if you're in a leadership role, you're going, okay, how can I help you better yourself? What are you good at? What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? What do you like doing? And how can I work with you to increase your success? So having a better understanding of people. And I'm going to do some training next week. We're going to talk about the different color personalities of people. You've got your blues, your greens, your reds, and it's a really good understanding. I have done training on this in the past, but I'm going to revisit it again so that you understand the different personalities of people. And when you're dealing with people, you're dealing with them in the way that they that they're on their level, if you like. Number 2 is the blame game. When things go wrong, you start blaming people. It's never your fault or never their fault. There's a problem. It's not my fault. There's a problem. There's a problem there. So you need to accept responsibility and not have a victim mindset. And pointing the finger, and I like this saying, is my dad does this. He said, you're pointing the finger at someone. You've got one finger pointing at the person, but you've got 3 fingers pointing back at you. So you need to take some responsibility for things that aren't going the right way. So you need to look at situations in your life too and go, okay, well, maybe that did happen to me, but how can I learn from that? What happened to make me a better person? And not playing the blame game, because it is easy to do. It's easy to say, oh, it's all their fault. Well, maybe you did have something to do with it, and what was it? So just to become a better person. Number 3, and this is a biggie, is lack of focus. You don't get where you want to go from jumping around at all these different shiny objects. You need to have set goals, and you need to get things done. Because when you have a lack of focus, you waste time. And again, that's a self-sabotaging thing. You sit there and you're like, oh, yeah, I know I've got to do this stuff, but all of a sudden you're on eBay or you're looking at shopping, and before you know it, you're watching down a rabbit hole, watching cat videos, and the day's over, and you're like, I haven't done any of my income-producing activities. Oh, well, you get into a self-sabotaging pattern. So you want to really focus, get all your stuff done first, and then go, okay, now I can go off and do whatever else I need to do online, or when you're having lunch or you're having dinner, then you can cruise on the internet and do whatever. Because you do get into that self-sabotaging pattern where there's no focus there. You're sort of jumping around from all these different things. Number 4 is not being informed to the end of month events. Make sure you're staying plugged into the groups. Get in the Telegram chat and see where things are at with that as well, and watching what's going on. Get all the information, and then you can make an informed decision as well on things that you're doing in your business, and also sharing the information with your team. So that's a biggie, is not being informed. And I know that when in online business, you want to stay plugged into groups, because then you know what's happening, and you can work out what's going on. Number 5 is don't surround yourself with negative people. And we talk about this. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Or if you're there hanging around people that are just negative and they're just Debbie Downers, and they're just, they're like, oh, woe is me, or they're just sitting there drinking and smoking and gambling, then you end up getting in that whole habit. You want to be around people that are upbeat, people that are, maybe more successful than you are, people that respect and believe in you. Do they have your best interests at heart? And I know I've had some friends where, they're like, oh, what do you want to do that online stuff for? What a waste of time. Well, I don't speak to those people. They don't get it. And, how can they help you? And I don't mean help in the sense of, help you build your business. I mean, supporting you. How do they support you? Do they support you? Because if they don't support you, then you're sort of like, well, what do I want to be around them for? You're around people that want to be happy for you and have that happy attitude of, looking after you. And the other thing too is, when you do start getting some success, is making sure that you stay grounded. They've come from sort of nothing to now earning a significant amount of money. They've got that Hollywood mentality. They're like, oh, I'm just awesome, and they're walking around like they're just the bee's knees. You've got to stay grounded and go, okay, this is where did I come from? And this is where I am now. And making sure that you're looking after people. They've got this level and they're like, oh, I'm not looking after my team now. I don't need to, and you've always got to look after your team. Yes, be humble. Exactly. Stay humble. 100%. And you will have friends that won't handle your success. People will be jealous. People will backstab. They're not the people you want to hang around. because they self-sabotage your success too, because you're sort of going, and I know we have that here in Australia, the tall poppy syndrome. Oh no, well, if I go and get a nice car, a nice house, or nice clothes, what are they going to think of me? Who cares? Who cares? It's your success. So make sure that you're hanging around the right people. Number 6, and this is one too, is expecting failure. You don't think that you deserve success. I'll read that again. You don't think you deserve success. So you're pessimistic. You need to build on the strength and expect the best. Don't expose your weakness and expect the worst. So, everyone does deserve success. And there might be some people, and going back to what we were talking about, people backstabbing and things, they don't want to see you succeed. So you're like, oh, well, I don't expect to have success. You're just expecting the worst. So you want to turn that pessimistic attitude around. And I'm not saying that anyone here does that, but I'm just saying this is some of the self-sabotaging things that you might have people in your life or in your team that do this. Build on your strengths to expect the best. Don't expose the weaknesses and expect the worst. So if you've got weaknesses there, just work on those. Turn them into strengths. Number 7, and this is a big one too, is being unable to learn from others. You need to be coachable. And out of all this stuff that I'm talking about here, this is probably up there with, the top 3. You never know it all. Like, I never know it all. I am constantly learning. I'm like a sponge, always learning. If someone wants to show me something, yeah, sure, show me. Like, you're always learning from people. You're never better than anyone else. You want to be coachable. You never know it all. You want to be flexible. And if you do make a mistake, you want to admit that you're wrong. Don't be insecure. Be secure about what you're doing. One of the quotes that I love, and, we talk about teamwork makes the dream work, but individually, we are one drop. Together, we are an ocean. So individually, we're one drop. Together, we're an ocean. So help everyone out. Help everyone out as a team. And you always want to hang around people that are smarter than you. And you hear this, some of the guys, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, and Henry Ford, who created Ford Motor Vehicles, they always say they always want to have people smarter than them in their team. And if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You always want to be learning from other people. Being unable to learn from others is number 7. You always want to be coachable. Always want to be coachable, because if you're not, if you just think you know it all, then that's it. There's your ceiling. You're never going to grow. You're never going to grow above that. Number 8 is refusing to take a risk. So you've got there's that safety at all cost mindset. You're like, oh, no, I'm not going to take a risk. How do you overcome that? You get bigger goals and you hang around bigger people. So refusing to take risks, you get bigger goals and you hang around bigger people. Number 9 is undisciplined living. So this becomes costly because you waste time, you waste energy, your mood swings, and you won't achieve what you want. You become lazy. So undisciplined living, and that's a biggie too. You need to be disciplined. You need to go, okay, this is what I need to be doing. And we talked about that before, is, setting your goals and setting your time aside every single day to go, okay, this is what I need to do. And we spoke a couple of weeks ago about the power hour. If you've only got an hour a day, set that power hour and go, this is non-negotiable. This is what I need to be doing. So you've got that, you're disciplined. Number 10 is being stopped by failure. And it's the attitude you have towards failure, and it will determine your success. So don't take failure personally. See it as a process and what you can learn from it. And that's what I was talking about before, the blame game. It's also about failure. Like, if you fail in something, go, okay, what can I learn from that? And don't take it personally and go, oh, it's just me. I'm no good at anything. I can't recruit. I can't do anything. It may not, it's not you. It's looking at it going, okay, what is the process? Take the personal side of things out of it and go, it's the process of failure. How can I learn from that? Because if you take failure personally, you're just going to constantly take that on board. And eventually you're just going to go, I'm not going to do anything because I just can't do anything well. And it may not be you. You've got to look at it and go, you know, how can I actually learn from it? Don't find fault, find a remedy. Anyone can complain. And that's from Henry Ford. So don't find fault, just find a remedy, because it's easy to complain. It's easy to complain about stuff. You know, every day you can complain about things that are going on, but then you end up, it just eats you up inside and you just become negative and just a horrible person to be around. So don't find fault, find a remedy in how you can fix things. And you always want to be resourceful. And I always say this, I know I always bang on about this with everyone, is if you don't know how to do something, go onto Google, go onto YouTube, they become your best friends. I know they're mine. And you learn things, and that's how you grow, rather than get frustrated and go, oh, this doesn't work. Okay, well, how do I fix it? Well, how do I go on? There'll be some little nerdy video on YouTube that someone's created, and it'll show you how to fix whatever your problem is. All I want to say too is think big, or you sabotage your success by thinking small. You always want to think big. But anyone can do it. You start where you start, and you just dream big. And, you know, there's going to be hiccups along the way, and things are going to, you know, trip you up, but you just don't let it upset you. You just go, okay, just roll with the punches. So you want to stay true to the cause and just stay in your lane and just keep going. That's all I can say. And you can actually get there. So I hope you got some value out of that. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next video. Bye for now.